Mr. Phiri, before we went for break, you had promised to find a part of the missing page to
yes.
some of your annexures. Have you been able to do that?
Yes,
Okay.
I have.
Chair, there should be a document. It's going to be part of LO2. May I beg leave for the document to be handed up? This is a document that Mr. Phiri extracted and copies were made, Chair. Thank you, Mr.
And were you able to establish anything on the question I asked about water and sanitation having a legal entitlement in terms of the prescripts to choose a service provider?
Yes, I was.
Can you please answer then?
Okay. Chair, you asked me if they have powers to allocate and deploy services without the intervention of APSS. They don't. Everything is done through us. There is a memorandum that I believe was sent to departments. I was unable to get that memorandum when we had a security, the city's security meeting with all departments to tell them the process. And then I believe it was sent to them. But on this occasion, that memorandum was not followed.
How then, in legal terms, must we make of what happened here with regard to Goobies?
I might struggle to find a word, but it was not a normal procuring of services, of security services.
So it was irregular.
That will be the perfect word for it, Chair.
Can't water and sanitation argue that all they did was basically to suggest on the basis that they had previously worked with Goobies and that it's yes, that then accepted the suggestion, and that therefore this was not irregular? I'm just being what some people usually call a devil's advocate.
What people call?
A devil's advocate.
Okay. Remember now when, Chair, the emails are going back and forth. Vandalism is happening. And we are under pressure. And at that moment, you don't think about what they are. Do they have ulterior motives, or do they have genuine request? But then you don't want the blame to be put on you. You accede and say, no, it's fine, we will do, as long as your infrastructure is protected.
It's that very act of acceding that I'm basing my question on. By acceding, is the deployment not regular, or does it not become regular because you have acceded? So effectively, because you have acceded, it's a deployment by you. Would that not be so?
Remember now, I don't know if it is
And by you, I don't necessarily mean.
Oh, you mean, yes,
Major Phiri, I mean your section.
the department.
Yeah.
On a naked eye, it will be seen as we, the department, APS, are deviating from our memo. But because of pressure, and especially from me, if I may speak about me, I now don't know if there are other communications other than what I receive. So I execute them as it is my duty at that moment.
Thank you, thank you. Mr. Musigidi?
Mr. Phiri, you said to the chairperson that APSS is responsible for the deployments.
For the deployment.
Is that the case even where the client is the cost center, where the client is going to be paid?
The end user department.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So it doesn't matter that the cost center is TMPD or is going to be with the end user?
No, it doesn't matter. In a normal circumstance, you will send us this request before deploying, and then we will do what we are supposed to do. But in this one, everything has been done. Ours is to satisfy that indeed these people are at that place.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Phiri. Mr. Phiri, you were about to speak to the document that we handed up. Do you still want to speak to it?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
The document was on page 3 of my annexures, and that is where authority and instruction was asked. So my authority in terms of, I was referring to paragraph 7, which in my understanding and the document that I could not extract from my laptop might have led to Director Malaji giving me the authority and the instruction. And I read it, it's LA02. So supposedly it was supposed to have 4 pages, but the last page was not there. So it will end at where Mr. Navapile, after speaking to everyone, it will end at at page 4, number 2, Asset Protection and Security Services. APSS will be responsible for amongst others, the following matters. So that is the page that was missing. And
But does this not mean your authority is limited to regions 6 and 7?
that is where, yes, that is where I wanted to come to.
So if you allocated people in regions 1 to 5,
Yes.
would you have authority to do that?
Yeah.
According to this document, as I read it, and I
Yes.
could be wrong because it's yours, not mine,
Yes.
it says your authority is in respect of, and I'm looking at item 12,
Yes.
that your authority is in respect of regions 6 and 7.
Yes. But at the end,
Yeah.
it says NB. NB, the last,
NB, yes. Oh, yeah, I see that. Okay.
yes. Then it says overall coordination and command.
And that was what you wanted, that you are the overall coordinator and commander.
Yes, I might be responsible for 6 and 7, but there are people also at 6 and 7.
Yes,
But I'm the overall for all the regions.
for all of them. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
so overall coordination and command. Supposedly it was supposed to say overall coordination and commander. It's me.
Yeah.
Yes, so the authority comes from there. There's another document which we cannot find, but the departments like, water and sanitation, they must have it because in that gathering, each department was asked to send their security representative. So they will know that if I need to speak about something, the person to speak to is Phiri, and then he will speak to either the person at Region 1, 2, up to 7. But my sole responsibility, in fact, here is, it was a typing error. It was 5, 6, and 7. That was my daily duty. So, beside that, I had to take care of everything. So, I'm bringing this because you will find that I've signed. Remember I said I could not delegate to these people because this duty was already delegated. And the Latin maxim that I use suggested that I could not. So I deployed in all 7 regions.
Okay, can I tell you what my issue is with all your deployment letters? Those
Yes.
ones that were effective from 15 January 2025.
Yes,
An ad hoc service by its nature is ad hoc, it's not permanent.
yes,
Because if this was part of the permanent protection services contract,
Yes.
they would be dealt with under the main contract.
yes, the watchman.
Ad hoc means there's a damage at a pump or at a station,
Yes,
and for that short period, you deploy as an emergency measure,
yes,
while, as you say, repairs are being done, or because you anticipate that there's a service delivery protest or
Yes.
those kinds of issues. My problem with your deployment letters, the ones that you signed,
yes,
is that it was a permanent deployment. There was no end date to it. In other words, if Riverspies had not terminated those deployments in June, the city would have been charged 17 million rands every month until forever. So in effect, what you did is you turned what should have been ad hoc deployments to cover the vandalism in December. You've turned them into permanent appointment for Goobies.
Chair, I'm not in position of one of those. If I may, in which bundle are they? And then
You can go to page 77
of file.
of file 2.
Tell me once you are there.
Yeah, I'm there.
Are you on page 77?
Yes, I'm on
So
page
just
77.
look at that deployment letter for Goobies. It gives the Mureleta Reservoir pump stations, and then it says effective date, and it says 15 January 2025. Do you see that?
Yes,
And then it sets out amount per guard is 20,925 rands.
yes,
And then the grand total is 406,000.
yes,
But it does not say when this deployment ends, which means according to this deployment letter, unless somebody terminates this, Goobies could be deployed for 3 years at that Mureleta Reservoir Power Station.
pump
But
station.
that's not the point of an ad hoc security service.
Yes.
Ad hoc is you pick up that there's vandalism. On an ad hoc basis, you deploy security. It's not intended to be permanent,
Yes.
but all your deployment letters, in effect, appointed Goobies on a permanent basis. And if Riverspies had not terminated this in June, they would have been entitled to this 14 million forever. Do you see my problem?
Yes, I see Your problem, Commissioner.
So
Khumalo.
you did not take precautions to say, if it said, for example, this will be on a month to month, so unless we appoint you for February, your appointment has stopped, so that they don't have entitlement to be there forever. And your deployment letters gave them entitlement to be there forever until the deployment is stopped. And it goes back to your response to Advocate Msigidi when you said, what then is your involvement once you issued the deployment letters? And you said, I have no further deployment, which means you appointed them on what was supposed to be an ad hoc arrangement.
Yes.
But you appointed them on a permanent basis and you left it there. And that's improper to me. Do you understand that? Because the letter should have said, you are deployed there because there's a danger that there's going to be vandalism. But it's for this period. Here you only have the start date, but not the end date. And it runs across all the deployments that you did. So that was my main challenge with your, because it's a lot of money. I mean, these sums are, you know.
Yes. May I answer?
You can comment.
Commissioners, this deployment letter was intended for water and sanitation, not for TMPD. My mistake here is that usually when I write this, I say until further notice, meaning the person who requested, who is paying, will tell us that from the 30th of June, I don't need this deployment. I finished what I wanted to do, and I don't need them. I failed to get, beside this other document that gives me authority, I failed to get one where I have an interaction with Mr. Sikholela to say, we cannot deploy guards at this place. And he says to me, but our budget for security was taken by your department. I take note of that, but I know that ad hoc services can be stopped. You can, in my mind, I know that you can ask for ad hoc services on the 15th, and on the 18th you say, I don't need that ad hoc.
Exactly, that's my point.
Yes, but now on this one, Commissioners, I did this knowing that if someone tomorrow comes and says you can stop it, even in the main contract, I will just write you a letter and tell you that your services are not needed. And then you can dispute it, but that this is ad hoc services. It is where I say there is no impression that is created, because this is not what you were given when we gave you the letter to deploy when the contract started. So it is neither here or there that you can't dispute that. You can't.
But do you accept that there's no end date in this?
There's no end date.
Yeah, which means until somebody says to them in writing, stop,
Yes.
they're entitled to rely on this deployment letter to continue being there.
Yes.
And this letter you see is not addressed to water and sanitation, it is addressed to Goobies.
Yes.
If you look at the addressee to Director of Goobies, 85 Security Solutions. And
Yes.
this is the letter they relied on to remain in these sites for 6 months.
Yes, but Commissioners, what I'm saying is, let's say I gave this letter on the 14th, and my superior says to me, they tell me, verbally or tacitly, and say, Phiri, tomorrow this thing stops. I'm telling you, I fought with a lot of them because I will stop it that day and then you will not invoice the next day.
You are the coordinator and they don't have authority. So I don't think it's right to say, because they didn't say anything to me, I'll let it run forever. I don't think that is right. I will leave it there with you.
Can I just understand on this discussion how it works?
Yes,
You've got Director Malaji,
yes,
and we know from that earlier message that we saw that he writes and he says deployment will happen from tonight
Yes.
on the 7th of January,
Yes.
right, at 1800 hours.
yes,
And then you subsequently issue a deployment letter.
yes,
Now, there are these three players. There's Director Malaji.
yes,
There's the Water and Sanitation Department, which is
Yes.
the client
Yes.
department. And then there's you.
yes,
When the instruction for deployment is issued,
yes,
whether by Director Malachi, as he did in that
Yes.
message, or by you in your deployment letter, who makes the determination how long that deployment is going to be?
it's the department.
They tell you.
Yes, they tell us their needs, and then usually they don't tell you, they will say, I need them for 3 months. And you will write to, most of them won't say, I need them, but most will say, I need them for 3 months. But in that 3 months, the work won't be done. Or maybe they wanted to put perimeter fencing and maybe cameras and stuff. But in 3 months, it's not done. And then they continue. So usually when I write these deployment letters, because I already know, I will say until further notice. But on this one, I think I missed that part. And then, but I knew, because already there were engagements that they will be paying and fixing, because I've done it before, where they said to me, we need to, water and sanitation, we need this place to be guarded. And then I will go there and tell them, but you don't have a fence and stuff, and they will say, that's why we need security. And then as soon as we complete that, we will stop. And they will indeed send me an email and stop.
So in this case, when Commissioner Spies issues that termination letter
Yes,
to Goobies, and then Goobies responds to say, we have an appointment letter.
Yes.
And we will carry on working. Do you get to determine whether their services are still required? Because you say you go to in the normal course, you would have gone to the site. Ordinarily, you would
Yes.
have gone to the site and looked at the need for this service.
Yes.
So when Goobies says to Commissioner Spies, sorry, we've got this letter from Malachi, signed by Phiri, do you and did you go to those sites to check whether Goobies was still required for the period, however long they carried on after that letter?
in fact, the first site that I went to, I was in the meeting when they were issued letters. They did
The letters, you mean the termination letters?
termination letters.
Yes.
I think it was on the 25th or 26th of June. The first ones that I went to is in Mamelodi and Kalinin, because there were water issues. And I did not dispute the termination. It is not in my, it's above my pay grade. And I think I went again, things were still fine, the guards were out of the reservoirs in those areas. And in 7 days, one of the directors, I can't remember, is Mr. Mabasa of Water and Sanitation called me and said, "Have you been to Mamelodi?" I said, "No." He said, "You must go and check in Mamelodi, Refilwe, and come and tell me what you see." When I got there, the Clearview fence was gone. The pump was damaged on all those three. And he said to me, "I know it's above your pay grade, but look at this." And I went and I looked, and then I came back. I reported to my senior, who is Dr. Elvis Madiklaba. I think within 2 months after that, without my knowledge this time, with the knowledge of DCSPs and Dr. Madiklaba, because director was already on suspension, and there were ad hoc services, but not in Mamelodi, in Refilwe, because those were new reservoirs, but they were already vandalized at that moment. And then the pump station in Mamelodi, and it was vandalized, water was not coming out, but I couldn't do anything because they were stopped. And in Refilwe, ad hoc services resumed. Again, they are there as I speak. Without my knowledge, but only my assessments.
Yeah. I'm not sure that you've answered my question. I think what I'm trying to understand is you, in explaining your role, your functions,
Yes,
I understood you to say it includes a risk assessment.
Yes.
You analyze whether the service is required. So when the client department says we require security
Yes.
at this site,
Yes.
if things proceed regularly or normally, you would do the risk assessment
yes,
and then come back and say you need 4 guards, or no, you actually don't need
Yes.
guards. That
Yes.
is all secure. There's no problem there. Am I correct in that understanding? Okay. So on the back of that understanding of your functions, my question then is, when Goobies refuses to accept the termination of its ad hoc services,
yes,
right? When they say to SPIS, we have a letter of deployment,
Yes.
and it seems that's all they rely on,
Yes.
right? As far as I remember that evidence, they don't say you still need us because you still don't have a fence, right?
yes,
Or you've just installed a pump, but you haven't yet secured the place.
Yes.
So they don't say that. All they simply say is to produce this kind of letter
yes,
and say, well, we've got authority to be there, you can't terminate us. My question is it not part of your functions at that point to go and do that assessment,
yes,
whether their services are still required at those sites? Because the way you explain the letter of the problem that Commissioner Khumalo is raising with you, where your letter is for an indefinite period, you say, well, if the client comes to me tomorrow and say we no longer need the service, I withdraw. That's it. And that's well and good. And I have no problem with that.
yes,
But we have the real life problem or situation that happened,
yes,
which is Goobies saying to Commissioner Spies, we have a deployment letter.
yes,
We are entitled to be here.
yes.
My question to you is, but when that happens, isn't it part of your functions to go to the site,
Yes.
to those sites where you've issued these letters,
Yes.
which are now being sought to be withdrawn, and to do your assessment, and then you come back and you say to your superiors, we don't need them, or we still need them? Isn't that part of your responsibilities?
Commissioners, on this occasion, the letters come, in fact, they surprised me. Surprise, in fact, is not a word that I can use. I can say I was flabbergasted.
The termination letters,
Yeah, when they come.
yes?
And the Department of Water and Sanitation, I didn't even notify them. It is the duty of the director to notify Herman now, Scholela, to say, remember, you don't have that. Now, Goobies comes to us. I'm not even aware of, I think I was copied on that email that they say we have deployment letters the next day. And then we tell them, but this is ad hoc services. You stop there and there. And they stopped. But when that department calls me now and says, Phiri, we don't have security. I say, no, but we terminated. Director Malaji will tell you. It is now the department that must adduce evidence to say, you terminating the security, the problem is we are sitting with this problem. Immediately after terminating, we don't do any other assessment after that. The department tells us, no guys, we want to continue. But the reason why the department left those substations to be vandalized is because they provided a GL account and a cost center. They cannot come to us and say, guys, come back and do a risk assessment, because they are not paying for the services. We are. Now, if they were paying for the services, they would have came to us and said, but what you are doing, guys, is malicious compliance. But on this one, they couldn't, because they had nefarious intentions of telling us that they have a budget, and at the end of the day, they didn't have the budget. So when DCSP stops this, it's something that should have been done immediately in January when the first invoices come, when they realized that the department don't have money. So I cannot go back to them, to their side, and recommend to my seniors that no, we need security there. Although it is the right thing to do, Commissioner Baloyi. At that moment, it is not. The situation is volatile. But I'm not privy to what is happening above me. But I'm aware that by leaving this site, we might have a problem. But I cannot say, let's keep security there. It will show interest on my side.
No, I think maybe you misunderstand my question. Let me ask it differently. Why did you not, when Goobies said to Commissioner Spies,
Yes,
we have letters, deployment letters,
yes,
issued by Phiri, we have a right to be here.
yes.
Why did you not say to Goobies and to Spies that they should be removed? Those letters doesn't give them the right to be there indefinitely. Because you're telling us the letter doesn't, even though it doesn't fix a period, your letter,
Yes.
it doesn't entitle a service provider to be there indefinitely.
Yes.
It is up to when you tell them. You would ordinarily say that's enough, okay? Because the
Yes.
client department has told you that. Now we have the situation here where Goobies relies solely on your letter
Yes,
to say this letter gives us a right to be here.
Yes.
And they remain there for a longer period. And my question is, at that point when Spies says to them, leave site, you need to leave site, and they say, no, Phiri has given us the right to be here, here's a
Yes.
letter. Why do you not say to Goobies, leave site? I'm now instructing you to leave site. You're no longer required. Because you are the one that does that, right? You
Yes.
tell them on and off the way that it works.
Yes.
Why, in this case, did you not back up Spies by giving the instruction to Goobies that I gave you my letter, yes, that entitled you to be there, but now you must move off?
okay. In actual fact, I must explain what happened. I'm not aware of everything. It happens on the 25, 26, and I see the email. I can't remember the day, what day was it. But then when I see the email, because we have management meetings, we call Goobies. Not only Goobies, all other ad hoc services that are cancelled, that are specified to be cancelled. And then we say to them, you received a letter. It means today, the day you received a letter, the date that is written there, it means you stop services. Hence, there is no invoice for July because they stopped. I think they were strong arming DCSPs just to test if my letter can go beyond the cancellation date. And if I may say it, in our profession as security practitioners, even if I tell you verbally or with the WhatsApp, you stop and then you dispute by following the court procedures. We had many of those, and then they know that this is, we will tell you today and say tomorrow you must come to the office and receive a letter.
The answer is that you did. You did talk to them to stop.
Yes, they stopped.
Okay.
The invoice ended, I believe, in June. Okay. There was no any other invoice from the 1st of July. They stopped.
Thank you.
Mr. Phiri, let's go to the document that you just handed up to the commissioners. It's LA2, and this is the document that you allege it gives you authority to act in a manner that you did in 2025. While I received this document, at least the complete part of it this morning, I've just read it now, and I want us to have a proper understanding of this document. Now, that document, you'll see at the heading, in fact, if you go on the very first page, it's attached to an email.
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes.
So this is the LA2. You'll see on the first page, it's an email from Nava Pillay. And the context of it really is one sentence, which says this: please find attached the security details as discussed at this morning's briefing convened by the CM. Now, we go to that letter of yours. Now, that letter is dated the 5th of May 2023. Now, what is important is this. It says security preparedness for the IDP and budget community consultation. And it says this: regarding the above matter, the security operation plan will cover the following. And then it deals with what's going to happen when dealing with this consultation, yes, community consultation. And then it deals with the issue of general safety, and then it says which department will be responsible and which areas are going to be covered. And you'll see it talks about crowd control, VIP protection and special operations, regional commanders, and then liaison with South African Police Service, public order policing, that's POP. And then this is where it deals with what you say it affects you.
Yes.
When it talks about the asset protection and security services.
Yes.
Will be responsible for, among others, the following, and then it lists on the following page.
Yes.
To ensure all private and source guards are on duty and protection of buildings and assets. And it's not necessary for me to read the rest of the points, but they deal with what ought to happen.
Yes.
And then it says that please find here in a contact list of all APSS members for their respective regions and their contact details.
Yes.
And then it says also find attached a list of TMPD members per region and their contact details. And then it says, notwithstanding the above, we recommend the non-utilization of the KT Mutubatse Hall or security reason and an alternative venue be sourced. And then that's the table that we discussed, and we find your name at item 12. And you say to this commission, what is important is that the part that says NB overall coordination and command by Mr. Andrew Phiri being yourself.
Yes, Advocate.
I put it to you that this document was solely focused on the event that was coming.
Yes, for the event of, yes.
Yes, it had nothing to do with deployment of sites, ad hoc or otherwise.
Okay.
You accept that?
Yes, I accept that,
Yes.
but can I further say something?
Yes, you may.
Advocate, as I've said, I failed to extract the one that will explain this better. I don't know, for some reason I couldn't find it after being given my laptop. But if any department, they will know. In fact, it should read that I'm also a troubleshooter. That means at 12 o'clock at night, you will tell me that my sites are being vandalized. And then my seniors will tell me, we must guard that place. But this one was just to show that Director Malaji knew that I have overall command. So that is the reason that not only for this event, in any other instances, you must contact me. I will know what to do.
In fact, are you done, Mr. Phiri?
Yes, I am.
Yes, in fact, the document, if you look at it, and then it expands on the next page, it lists all the regions.
Yes, and the people
Yes,
who are supposed to.
yes. And the point really I am trying to get across to you is that this document does not give you the authority to allocate and, using your words, to deploy
Yes,
the security service providers as you did in this case.
yes, it
No,
doesn't.
at least on the face of it.
Yeah, on the face of it, you are right, the advocate. But I just wanted to indicate to the commissioners that my duties were not limited to what I had in this commission. We're not limited to that. As Commissioner Kumalo has asked me, here you are being, it is being said that you are responsible for 6 and 7. But I'm also have another duty to coordinate, and so in this part, it says ensuring all private and in-source guards are on duty and the protection of buildings and assets. Now, commissioners, so it will happen that we have a site in Soshanguve in Jugu Lane, and at that moment, there is no security. The management of community services, and I can't remember where they fall, they will have to call me at that moment and say, they will write an email to Mr. Nava and Director Chukudu, and then they will arrange and tell them that the person who must come to your place at this moment to see that security is deployed is the guy that is called Phiri. The number is there. And some won't even call my bosses. They will call me directly or send me an email directly to say, Phiri, you see, with this problem, we are sitting with this problem, we need security. The reason I'm referring to this is because it has happened before. So I want to highlight that even when Director Malaji took the decision, he knew the person to delegate to. So it comes to, on my statement, where comes to LA1, the reason I attached this is because on LA1, page 1 of my annexures, where Director Malaji says, please get Phiri to run with the process and let's monitor the progress. So I'm indicating that he knew that I have authority. So in essence, what I'm saying is I derive that authority because there are many instances where this is where I'm referred to take care of the problem. So this was just one to show you that if a building is not guarded and the management of that building says it must be guarded at that time, at IDPs or whatever, I had to make sure that there is security guards, either way on ad hoc services or on my own discretion, taking guards somewhere, putting them there. So I had that right. I could take guards from Tshwane Market, put them in Mabopane at that moment.
Sorry to interrupt you. I accept that.
Yes.
The only proposition which I think I have accepted to answer is to at least agree that that document really only related to one event, and that's all there is to it. I understand the fair explanation, but for now, the question was really confined to that document, that it related to a specific event. That's all I was saying to you.
I accept that, Advocate, but I must say to you, Commissioners, had I known that this letter will not suffice, I would have extracted Malaji and then others at the back. So this was just to indicate that I did not act ultra vires. I was not a rogue inspector, as I'm made to be seen. I was following instructions.
All right, let's move to page 18 of your statement. It's annexure LA05.
Page 18,
Yes.
file
It's the first file, file 1.
File 1,
Yes.
page 18.
1-8, yes.
Yes,
Now, you will remember while having a discussion with Commissioner Baloyi, and you were asked about the deployment letters relating to Klaperkop pump station and Brickfields pump station. And part of the discussion between the two of you was that, at least in this email, we see that Goobies, or at least some of their staff members were copied on that email.
yes,
And then in explanation, you said that you carried out this instruction, but then while this took place a bit earlier, as this email is dated the 7th,
yes,
you, however, when you dealt with your letters of the 14th, you did not see the need to backdate because you had to deal with it as and when you were dealing with those letters.
yes,
Do you remember that?
yes, I do.
And remember, part of that discussion, it started from when you were reading paragraph 15 and 16, where there was a bit of a disjoinder
Yes,
of the two paragraphs.
yes,
Yes. Now, I want to put it to you that that answer that you gave is incorrect,
yes,
because I want to draw your attention. If you go to file 2, the second file,
yes, yes,
and you go to page 8.1. Let's start with 8.1.
yes,
Yes, you will see that. Remember, this is where you say, well, the reason why you gave this instruction to Goobies is because you were told to do so, and you acted according to that, and you made sure that that is done. But when you look at page 81, you will see that that letter is dated the 1st of January, and you will see that your signature appears at the bottom, and there's a date to it, says 0701,
Yes,
2025.
yes,
Now, you will see the same, so this one deals with brick fails, and you'll see on page 83, the same letter dealing with Klaperkop.
yes,
Similarly, it's dated the 1st of January, and you will see that your date says 0701,
yes,
2025.
yes,
And you will see the number of the armed guards, the number of the patrol personnel in the vehicle, they accord with what's on the email. You accept that as well?
yes.
Yes.
The 7th, remember when Commissioner Baloyi asked me the question, he was referring to page 77.
No, I'm saying to you, I'm putting it to you to say that answer of yours could not have been correct.
Yes, was incorrect.
Yes. You accept that?
Yes, I do.
It doesn't speak to the 14th.
It doesn't speak to the 14th on this
Yes.
letter.
So we cannot rely then on that email to say that gave you authority with regard to the letters of the 14th. At least you have to accept that. This email refers to the 7th, and your letters also refer to the 7th. So we'll come and deal with the 14th, but at least let's accept that.
I accept that.
Yes.
In fact, I remember that I did it on the 7th.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Now we still have to deal with the issue of the 14th to say where did you obtain your instructions, and also not just the instructions or authority, but also to specifically allocate to Goobies. But at least we have to put that aside, that those letters of the 14th had nothing to do with what Director Malaji had written on that email, because separate letters exist for that allocation. Mr. Phiri, you'll accept that 3 people came to testify before this commission
yes,
dealing with the issue of these letters. We had DC Spies, we had DC Ballhays, and we also had Director Malaji.
yes,
And the crux of their of their testimony is that they never gave you any instructions, or you never had authority to allocate any sites to Goobies as you did. When we, can we go to file number 3 and go to page 59? In fact, go to 69 to get to the point.
69.
69, please.
And there.
Now, when this is Director Malachi's statement, which when he was being deposed to, he stood by the statement, and this was also recorded in the transcript. So at paragraph 23, when in fact, let's deal with 24. When asked the question whether I delegated powers of allocation to anyone, in particular Mr. A.L. Phiri, in respect of the sites to be guarded by the service providers rendering services under TMPD 02-2016-2017. And then he says this: I have not delegated powers of allocation to anyone in respect of the sites to be guarded by the service providers rendering services under TMPD 02-2016-2017. And then the question says whether you approved or mandated allocation of security services, in particular Goobies 85 in the period between December 2024 to 30 June 2025. And he says that he did not approve or mandate the allocation of the security to Goobies in the period between December 2024 and June 2025. Do you have anything to say in relation to his evidence in that regard?
Paragraph 24, it is already answered with the email that says, get Phiri to run with it, commissioners. Director Malaji was incorrect. And to further state, immediately when you hand me a department, the emails will suggest the updated list. The email will tell you that now you can speak directly to Mr. Phiri, commissioners. This statement is incorrect and malicious. And I did not approve or mandate the allocation of ad hoc security services to Goobies 85 Solutions Limited in the period between December 2024 to June 2025. We had a meeting with Herman Sekgolela, where Director Malaji said I must convene that meeting. And in saying that, in that meeting, I don't have the minutes, but his secretary was there, must have that minutes. He said to Herman Sekgolela, hence you will see that in the emails that I attach, now Mr. Herman Sekgolela tells me, updated list, redeploy, cancel this one, send to this one. It is because he's told as a representative of Water and Sanitation Business Unit that now you communicate to Phiri under the instruction in that meeting. It's unfortunate I don't have those minutes. Now, Advocate Msikidi, let me tell you something that you were not told in this commission. My letter of deployment doesn't give SCM or creditors to pay. And you can dispute that letter. Now, how things work in Tswane is that you get an invoice. That is the part that is missing in this statement that are made frivolously about my name. When you get that invoice, I don't sign that invoice. I don't. I'm not even involved there. I've already told you that I made sure that the guards are there. Now, you put your signature as Director Malaji, and you are validating what you said you did not approve. But you are approving it by signing it. And then you send it to DC Boles. He signs it at that amount. Then it goes to Finance or Department of Water. They take it at face value. Is that possible? To me, it's not. The people knew and they signed. They validated what was written there. So if he says, I did not approve or mandate, then how does that happen until June? So this statement, to put it mildly, is incorrect.
Can I just ask this? The page 18 document, email from Director Malaji, it nominates 2 pump stations by
Yes.
name, Klapperkop and Brickfields.
Yes.
But then your letters, it's quite a number of letters,
Yes.
and they deal with different pump stations.
Yes.
where do you draw the authority to the extent that you have given us this letter this email at page 18 as the source of authority?
Yes.
Or as evidence that you were given directions to deal with this, which on the face of it I accept.
Yes.
But then your instruction, your letters of deployment cover quite a lot of stations
Yes.
or facilities, if you like.
Yes.
Where does that power, your power to have given in respect of the many others, where do you say that comes from?
If we go to page 7 of my annexures, it is Friday, January 10th, 2025. Now, Herman Sekholela, being told in a meeting that the person who will be dealing with your problems is Mr. Lebohang Phiri. He sends an email at 11:23 a.m. Mr. Phiri, I hope this finds you well. This is the updated list. But here, he sends this to me and my supervisor, which is Dr. Elvis Kwapeng Madiklaba. Now, the authority came with that email. Let him run with it. It is given to Dr. Elvis Kwapeng Madiklaba. There is no need for now, because we had a meeting. We convened the meeting on the 6th. We agreed that Mr. Phiri will run with the process. Now, for ease of operation, because director has other issues that he must deal with, it's not only water and sanitation. There have to be meetings, Section 79 meetings and stuff. Herman Sekholela now, he knows that Director Malaji gave me a point.
So he's the one that gives you the list of stations.
Now he gives me the list of stations. Is his allocation, his deployment. What I must do now is to go there and make sure that indeed this is the place.
Okay, so you're not saying page 18 is the power you have to deploy to the many other stations, because page 18 speaks only to Brickfields and Klapperkop, right? That's your
Yes.
page 18.
Yes.
It's specific to those two stations.
Yes.
You are saying to us that it is the meeting, that this meeting you're referring to,
Yes.
and the earlier email that we looked at, which was, I think it said, Phiri will run with it.
Yes.
You're saying that's where you drew your authority in respect of the other stations, effectively to execute
Yes.
Sekholela's list as he gives it to you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. In fact, what I should say is that the deployment on the 7th is in pursuance of the decision that was taken in the meeting of the 6th. Because the meeting of the 6th gives effect that Mr. Phiri will, in fact, let me read it so that I don't. It says, it tells Dr. Elvis Kwapeng Madiklaba that please get Phiri to run with the process and let's monitor progress.
Yes.
Remember, in a meeting, already Sekholela has told us, Herman, that we don't have this problem only here. We have a larger problem that you must deal with. So you must prepare yourself. Okay. So I'm now leaving my other duties, delegating them to another colleague of mine to say, please take care of my regions and stuff and my meetings, reschedule some of my meetings. And now I'm going to see what is happening. So they come in as they come to say, Mr. Phiri, Because I've already given an instruction,
Yes.
now I must execute.
Understand, thank you.
Mr. Phiri, maybe to piggyback on that question, you will see that at page 7 of file 1, and then what is then referred to by Herman Sokolela is what is called an updated list, which then appears on page 8.
Yes,
Now, when you look at that list and then you compare it with maybe go to file number 4 on page 153.
page 153.
153, yes, of file 4.
One five three.
153, yes, file 4.
One five four.
153,
3.
file 4, and then 153.
Yeah, I have 153 and 154 in front of me.
Yes, so on 153, what you must see is a document that says a summary of sites allocated to Goobies by Mr. Phiri. Is that the one you have?
Summary of sites allocated to Goobies 85 by Mr. Phiri.
Yes. Now, this document, it's populated from the letters that you signed.
Yes.
Yes. And really the part of the question that Commissioner Baloyi was asking you was that, at the very least, accepting that even if for a moment that Herman Sokolela had the authority to dictate to you, as you put in your statement, who to allocate and which sites in question. The question really at the heart of it is that on page 8 you have 19 sites that are identified, and then on your letters, on the summary of what we have here, you have 38 38 sites. It's actually 40, but I've subtracted 2, which belongs to Dr. Malicious. So with yourself it's 38. And what we're trying to reconcile is that where did you obtain the instruction to allocate the difference?
Just the last question, so that I can give you a proper answer.
Yes, you have on page 8 what you referred us to is a list of sites, which is a total of 19 sites. But when you look at page 153, you have a total of 38 sites. So
Yes.
there's a whole difference of sites that don't accord to what you are telling us in terms of your email. So the question I'm asking you is that, how do you account for the remainder of the sites for a moment?
Okay. Remember the questions that were sent to me is authority, instruction, process, and generation and paying of POs. Now, I had to prove, commissioners, that I had authority from Director Malaji. I got an instruction from Director Malaji. Water and sanitation got their own people to work. I'm not responsible for, I'm answering those questions. But should have the question came and said, we need evidence to show that Mr. Sokolela is sending you this list, and then I would have put the emails to show that I did not just go and identify site. He identifies sites, he allocates Goobies, and then mine is to go. There are emails to that effect. I am not just going around doing. Even there are emails where he says, I have seen that I'm done maybe in Waverley. Please redeploy these guards to Sunderland Ridge. Because now he is in control. He's telling us where his problems are. And then we are going where he tells us. I don't identify these sites. He identifies them, but the question from the commission did not say, Phiri, show us how did you arrive at 38. I would have showed you that as much as I've given you the updated site, I would have shown you that the updated site also comes with new sites.
Mr. Musigiri, perhaps in the interest of time, let's resolve this by affording Major Phiri an opportunity to supplement on this point.
Chair, I'm happy to do that, but the question still remains, and it's not really what was sent to him. The question remains is that the letters that he sent, and that's what he must answer to. This is what is before the commission.
That's pretty clear that it has only the number that you referred to, which is much lesser than or fewer than what you referred to later, and I don't think that will change in the interest of time. I think you've made your point. You've made your point with regard to that, and then that's what Major Phiri says he would have addressed had his mind been directed to that specifically. And it's on that I think, in fairness, we should afford him an opportunity to supplement. You are free to respond to me.
Yes, Chair. I take heed to that, Chair. I'll take the answer as it is, that at least for now, there's no account, even if we were to accept that he had authority from either Herman or Malaji, there's still a deficit of at least 50% of the letters that he can account for.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Mr. Phiri?
Major Phiri, you say, had your mind been directed to this issue, you would have been able to address it. So I afford the opportunity to supplement your statement by addressing this issue.
Definitely, Commissioner.
By when do you think you can file a supplementary statement?
First, I have to request Director Minar to access. I have my laptop, but I have to access a municipal building, and then that I cannot say by Friday.
Do you first? Okay.
But the commission can give me a deadline. But I think by Wednesday, because I will definitely send them the request and the update.
Must I say it's Wednesday or Friday? What should I give you?
Wednesday.
Wednesday is fine.
Yes, Wednesday.
All right, then you are directed to file that.
Yes, I will work it over the weekend, and then I will send them. Yes.
To file it by Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Mr. Musigiri. Mr. Musigiri, I hope you don't feel that I curtailed your cross-examination on this. Because as I say, I think you've made your point, and we understand it perfectly.
No, Chair, I accept that, Chair.
Thank you.
I'll move on from, well,
Thank you.
I'm still on the same point, but at least on a
right.
different angle, Chair.
All right.
Yes. Mr. Phiri, you testified that when you received, so the question is, when you received the instruction, finally, on the on the 10th of January, that will be the email on page 1, LA01, from Mr. Herman Sakulela. Page 1, file 1.
Page 1.
Yes, so you go to your first file, then it refers to your annex chart, L01, on page 1.
L01.
Yes.
Yes.
You see that on top there is an email from Herman.
Page 1.
Yes.
From Herman.
Yes, so
On
go
page
to your
1 is-
annex chart,
It's
LA01.
Malaji. On page 1.
Yes, no, go to the very top. of the email. You
Yes.
see that?
Yeah,
Now, that's an email addressed to you.
yes.
Yes. And that is the email that gives you the go-ahead. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So the question is that, how many sites did you then visit on the day?
On the day.
Yes.
There are no sites attached here on the 10th.
Yes.
Let me see this sites.
Remember your testimony is this, Mr. Phiri. Let me assist you. You say that finally you received the final go-ahead on the 10th,
Yes,
having taken into account all these developments between Mr. Hellman, Mr. Malaji.
yes,
And you say on the 10th is what triggered you to start doing your job. And then obviously on the 14th you signed those letters. So the question is that, how many areas did you visit?
If you take out number 7 and number 10, because they are already done, and it's 19 sites. Oh, you take out number 1 also. It's 16. Moreleta, Grasfontein, Grootfontein, Carina, Ilados Park, Mokelneck. Oh, it's 15. You must take out number 19, Rival Bell Presser. It is already in force. He is not aware. I'm aware because it's the one that I'm taking, it started in May. So it's 15. So if I read you this, it's in Region 6. The reservoirs and Glenway, I see there's Glenway Estate Feeder. They are in Region 6. That is your Mamelodi up until Grasfontein. It takes me 4 hours to visit all of those sites. You take Rayton Reservoir and Refilwe. It is already, I know these 2 sites. This is what I'm talking about, that I've been to these sites before he can send me this. Because these sites, when he sends them, I realize that he is not aware. But I say to him, let me go to Rayton and Refilwe and satisfy myself. But I know them. I go there, it's in Region 5. When I'm finished with Mamelodi, I just drive up around, I think it's 15 kilometers. It is not exactly in that area. It's on the road going to Moloto. When you move from Glenway, I think it's just 5 kilometers in the bush. I just go there and I see the sites. But these are new sites. I've been there before. And it was in December, I think 2023. And then I go there. And then it says Florana LL Reservoir Pump Station. It's in Pretoria North. So already now...
Perhaps to deal with this more quickly. Did you do all of this in one day or not?
Yes, I did.
And what was the day or date?
I think it was, he sent me this on the 10th. I think I either went, if I can see the email, I either went, I started on this day. Because remember now, commissioners.
Now, when you say you started, because you just said you did all of them in one day, when you say started, are you suggesting that you started and did not finish, or you started and finished on the
I started and finished.
All right.
Because I'm on standby.
Okay, can you tell what date it was?
I believe I started on the same day.
On the same day?
Yeah, on the 10th.
Yes.
It must be just after 12.
All right, thank you. I think that's what you wanted to establish, Mr. Musigiri, not so much the order in which he did this and the time he took. Does that answer your question?
It does, Chairperson, answer the question. It just still begs the other question as to how many sites did he visit? Because the letters that were produced, according to our records at least.
I think he did answer that. He said, taking out this and that site, then it's this total. I think he did answer that. Unless you want him to just give you that total again.
Yes, that will assist me for my notes.
Yes.
Okay. You take out number 1, and take out number 3 and 4. It's 3 now. You take out number 7. You take out number 10. You take out number 14, Glenway. You take out number 19. So I visited, it's 5 or 6. I visited 14 on that day. The nature of my work, advocate, I'm one person. I can start work at 6 and finish at 2 o'clock.
All that's wanted now is just the total.
Oh, it's 14.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Phiri. Can we then deal with the last subtopic before we go to the next stream? And this relates to the question that was posed probably earlier to you, and definitely it was canvassed with the CFO when he came here, Mr. Mnisi, as to the processes that ought to be followed. And that's something that I realize that you're also itchy to explain relating to purchase orders. Can you go to page 111 on file 4?
File 4.
Yes.
111, file 4.
Yes. Now, before you
Bow.
thank you.
You assist me.
Now, before you get into okay. So it's 111. Are you winning?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes. So there was much huff and puffing about the processes that relates to purchase orders and the processes.
Yes.
Now,
I hope your meaning of huffing and puffing is different to Mr. Mnisi's, because I know huffing and puffing to mean the opposite of what he said. Please continue.
indeed, Chair, I will try not to huff and puff. Mr. Phiri, do you recognize the document?
Yes.
Yes. What is that document?
It's a memo from Mr. TP Malaji and Mr. Navapili.
And it is dated 23 January 2023. Can you read into the record the subject matter of that letter or that memo?
Okay. Standard operating procedure, acquisition of additional new security services. The requesting department must address a request to the Office of the City Manager, Asset and Property Protection Unit. OCM, APPU will conduct a security risk assessment on the sites where security is required and make recommendations as well as provide quotations for the provision of such requested services. The requesting department must then send to the OCM APPU a formal letter of request signed by the cost center owner where the money will come from, indicating the cost center number, general ledger account, and how much must be committed for the services. The GL and cost center will be verified for sufficient funds. Upon funds being available, a purchase order will be created and sent to the cost center owner for release. Once a PO has been released, the OCM APPU will then go ahead and provide the services and monitor such services. Mr. TP Malaji signs it on the 23rd/01/2023, and Mr. Navapile approves.
We're not the city officials. Can you explain to us what's your fair understanding of the process here, Mr. Phiri, just to assist the commission?
To assist the commission, I would say there's, in the office of the city manager, it's a memo outlining the standard operating procedure. It indicates what must happen. But advocate, commissioners, this was not followed on this instance. The reason is there were already services that were provided without our intervention, which were irregular, from the Department of Water. We come to realize when they have a problem.
No, I get that. Before you get there, I was just saying on what the document, the process that it prescribes.
Yes.
Then we can come to this instance where it was followed or not. I think you did say for whatever reasons.
Yes,
Just
it
to
was not
understand
followed.
how it works.
How it works?
Yes, in terms of when you, in an ideal situation,
Yes.
and when would a purchase order be produced?
What it says here, it's true. A purchase order must be produced before work is done. But the systems in the city of Tshwane now, as we speak, as we are here, doesn't allow that. Because they don't rely on the quotation. They rely on an invoice. Remember now, here they are talking about the quotation. Creditors say, and SCM, we cannot produce a PO without an invoice. Hence I said to advocate commissioners, a quotation is as much as a deployment letter. Doesn't give effect for SCM or creditors to pay. So you must validate an invoice, then it's then that entries are made to create a PO, as we are sitting here. Because, and if you can create one PO now for services that will be rendered for 3 months, you can create it for 3 months, and there will be ease of operations. But then you have validated with an invoice that this work is being done.
No, thank you. I think the document is clear as to what ought to be done.
Yes.
Chair, I still have to cover the financial aspect of relating to Mr. Phiri. And I see that it's 12:59.
Let's do that at 2 p.m. Let's adjourn until 2 p.m.